I'm Superantonio. And we're live. Greetings, friends. Welcome back to Free Roam Fridays, where we free roam with Arthur in Chapter 2. Now live. And we found Norbert. We need Norbert. He's the snakebite guy because he's going to get us a Springfield. Everyone is here. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, friends. J Lash with the thumbs ups. Appreciate you, friend. Miko Herptile says, hello, Super Antonio, Sadie, mods, and everyone's. Greetings, Miko. Hope you had a good week. I'm glad you're back. Mama One and Papa One are here. Mama One says, hey, family. Papa One says, hey, gang. And Papa One says, to Miko, hope you are well, my friend. Sadie's here. She was she had a very busy afternoon walk. A lot of fun. Very active. Talked to a bunch of her friends. Communicated in terms of sniffing and jumping and general horse play. I guess dog play. Miko says, hello, J-Lash, Mama One, and Papa One. And she is smelling a little horsey, it being the end of the week, but I'm sure that was a big hit with all her friends today. And she'll get a bath tomorrow. How was your week? I spent all week working on The Last of Us. I finished the game. I just want to finish the game. It's, I love it. I'll say that right now. I don't love it as much as this game. And it's different. It's this game is a novel. This game is a TV season with 23 episodes, and The Last of Us is it's a short story or a mini season with 3 episodes. You could easily finish it in 2 days. I took a week because I didn't know what I was doing, and I had lots of fun. But right now, I'm going to my idea for Saturdays is just to do Last of Us. We're just going to keep playing that game, and I'm just going to keep getting better and better, and we'll just keep playing it in higher and higher settings until it's like ridiculously hard. There's like 7 levels of difficulty for that game, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. I really enjoyed it, but it's not like this game. I mean, all you do is you just run through the challenges, and the challenges are, basically it's just mazes with enemies around every corner. Malamic Art, greetings, friend, says, yay, I'm in Chapter 2 again, 3rd time. Just tried your trick to get the gray and white horse, but gave up after a dozen reloads. Yeah, the Silver Dapple Pinto Missouri Foxtrotter is very difficult to get with the Albert Mason exploit. And it takes a lot of patience. And I don't know what to say, friend. Try again. It helps to turn off your console and turn it back on. So you clear the files. You clear the cache. Miko says hello to Malamic. Mama One says, it's been a rough day. I'm sorry to hear that. I got into a car accident. I hope you're okay. Teenager rear-ended our work truck. We had no horses in our trailer, thank God. Darn teenagers. And Mama One says, sorry to hear that, Mama One. Hope you're both okay. Dang them kids. Mama One says, you can do a speed run on Last of Us when you get good enough at the game. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be called The Fun of Us because it's a lot of fun. If you like The Walking Dead, you'll love the game. And it's very similar to a movie, The Girl with All the Gifts. Anyways, this is a game that came out in 2013, and it holds up extremely well. Sadie's under the desk. She had a drink of water. I don't know if you heard her, but now she's under the desk, looking at her bones. She has a collection of bones and chew toys under here. And I guess she's just picking one. We have the Iron Grey Ardennes, but tonight we are going to get the O'Driscoll Brindle. And I always parked on the street before, but now I just ride up there. That's a bad honor. Got into that bad honor habit. Also, I really like this sweater. I have no call to ever wear anything that thick and furry and warm and fuzzy, but it looks great. Someone's making a lot of noise. Hey, here, take it. Take it. There you go.
Sure, I'll take that. Thanks for your help.
Good girl.
Oh, sure, I'll make a
Malamik Art says, glad all were safe, Mama One. Yeah, did airbags go off? And Mama One says, thanks, Miko. I'm a little sore. It's been a rough week for us. One of our crew is very ill. I'm sorry to hear that. He and his children are on their way down to see us. The surviving members of our original crew are having a reunion and throwing a party like we used to. Well, you take it easy, Mama One. Drink lots of water, get lots of sleep, take your vitamins. I hope you're just sore and a little shaken up. Accidents are hard. They're even if you don't get hurt, you know, it's a traumatic event. So we can be nice to this guy because we're not doing Bad Honor anymore. Tomorrow is the last of the Bad Honor commentary, and then we get into The Last of Us. Also, Batman arrived this week, and I played a little Batman, and I'm enjoying that too. But that's going to be more like Cole Phelps in L.A. Noire. I had so much fun just tearing around Gotham City in the Batmobile. Made it a little short. It did pretty well, the short. And yeah, we're going to have fun with Batman. And that'll be on Sundays. Mama One says, thank you, Malamud, and yes, my airbag's deployed. Oh, that's a pain. But it's important for insurance. So, you know, you'll get a big check from the insurance company. But, you know, that saved you. Pop One says, the surviving crew is getting together, and I'm excited. Wish was under better reasons. We have both been emotional as it sucks. Our gang is slowly fading. I miss being a young man. Yeah, but you made it to being an old man, Papa One. You have lived a life and created a legacy. And not everyone gets to survive, as you know, into old age, into an honored and sacred elder of the tribe. And Miko says, speedy recover for him, Mama One. I hope you still have a good time at the reunion. Oh, and I was thinking about, you know, speaking of tribes and elders, and I was thinking about the deal we have with dogs since the caveman days. And I was reading about it, you know, the relationship between humans and dogs, specifically dogs. One of the first, if not the first, domesticated animal. The partnership at the basic level is we provide shelter and food, and they provide protection and companionship and help with hunting. And so that's at the basic level, and that instinct is even in the little dogs. When like little dogs rush us to protect their moms and they start yapping away, they're trying to fulfill that covenant of protecting their mom. Not very well, but you know, it's hardwired into them. Pretty funny. Well, it's not funny, it's interesting. Because I know she feels that way too, Sadie. Papa One says, I miss the heydays of our wild youth. My dad and I leading our gang and just having so much fun. I may sound weird from saying this, but my dad was my best friend. Him and Mama One. That's not weird at all. That's lucky. That's fortunate. You are a fortunate son. I wasn't best friends with my dad. He was very formal, and he was affectionate in his own way. But yeah, he was very old school and formal. So was my mom. Anyways, let's get a little sleep in. So get some daylight. It's better to film in. I've been doing Bill Gay shorts all week long. Acting all innocent. Not like the game doesn't go out, come out and say, or have Bill waving a rainbow flag. They just offer clues. And and so I've been putting those clues into shorts. Like one of them, Arthur and Martha, Bill and Phil, Lenny and Jenny. So it was called Who Was Phil in Red Dead Redemption 2. And it's just Hosea riding around saying, Arthur and Martha, Bill and Phil. Who was Phil? And it's gotten 10,000 views, which is a lot. It's only about $1, but still, it's like that's a lot of views, especially for this channel. And people are answering the question earnestly. Like it's like it's I don't understand how anyone could not figure that out. And because Phil rhymes with Bill, and then somebody commented, why didn't they say Jill? It's like, so he gets it. What'll I tell Myrtle?
What'll I tell Mildred?
She's a lady. She wears a bonnet.
Oh, yes.
Of course we'll help
Please.
her.
Thank you.
Malamick says, I love dogs, all animals, but horses, cats, and dogs are top 3. This game has a few cats. Wish we could pet them. No, you can only talk to them. You can only say, hey, kitty. Pop One says they would hand me a stack of letters from Dad and Mama One. Several of my friends were very jealous that I had a girl as beautiful as Mama One.
I don't normally travel this far.
Well, you had a girl in Valentine, and she's still your Valentine.
About a possible new line of work. I'd borrowed a friend's horse for the trip. See, my husband.
One of my favorite lines coming up, you finding me is the best thing that's happened to me in a long time. It's poignant, it's sad. And I wish we could refuse the silver ring that she's going to offer us. It's only $5.
I won't work in no saloon, but I've got sharp eyes and quick hands.
Malamick says, LOL, I love your Arthur impression. I just want to finish the game. We haven't done that mission yet, and I don't know if we're... Yeah, I suppose we'll get the Reverend back. He is kind of annoying, though. He'll start singing that When I Was Getting Frisky song if we return him to camp. Mama One says, thank you, Miko. It's a great thing to reunite with the crew. We have always kept in touch. It's family.
I may not have another opportunity like this. Now I'll have to pay Mildred
Yeah,
back
so I was kept myself busy with video games.
You finding me is the only good thing that's happened to me in a long while, sir.
And
We're close now.
with Batman and Last of Us, we're just having fun. We're doing playthroughs. We're not really concerned about challenges or doing the best we can, or like timing events and everything. It's we're just having fun. But it is a lot like Resident Evil, the design of the game, in the sense that they encourage multiple plays, and they that's one of the reasons why it's so short. They want you to keep rotating through it and getting better and better. That's how you have fun. Apart from the first time when you do story mode. But so Batman arrived. I was playing a little Batman, but then I had to finish The Last of Us because it got to a very emotional point, which I won't spoil. But is it time for a haircut? I believe it's time for a haircut. Papa One says, I'm excited for Arthur to get his Brindle Thoroughbred. In real life, the Brindle Thoroughbreds are expensive. The one we named after you, Super Antonio, is a light Brindle. He's more silver and black. Well, Papa One, as always, I'm honored. I'm honored that you are part of the stream, part of this community. Especially honored that you named a horse after me. It's more than I deserve, and Papa One says he is a very high-quality horse.
Looks pretty good.
I just watched, last night I was up relatively late, and I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Inglourious Bastards back to back. So that's like almost 4 hours worth of Quentin Tarantino. And tonight I want to watch Django Unchained. First reason was I wanted to see that scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where Brad Pitt tells Rick Dalton to don't cry in front of the Mexicans, because it always makes me laugh. And yeah, it's probably my favorite. It's not my favorite of his movies, but it is his best movies, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then I read in an interview that Quentin Tarantino's favorite character that he's written is Hans Landa, Colonel Hans Landa. So I had to see that again from that perspective. And it's not my favorite of his movies, Inglourious Bastards. You know, I can understand why you would want to make a World War II movie.
Just relax.
I'll
take care of you.
It's okay. I understand why he likes the character too. I mean, it's very well written. All his characters are very well written.
Okay?
And then tonight I want to watch Django because it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Just to see his character
Let me know
again.
if you need anything, all right?
And then after we finish Django, I got this from Amazon today. Wednesday season 1, which we'll watch after Django. There's only 2 discs, 8 episodes. I will try
Let's just keep
my
that
very
between
best to
us
just
and
watch
these
1
four
episode a
walls,
night.
shall
I
we?
don't know if I'll be able to do that, but I'm sure someone who is currently resting on my foot will really enjoy Wednesday. Papa One says, I'm going tomorrow with my friend Henry to go to Huntington, Tennessee to look for some Arabians or Frisian horses. I'm looking at getting some more females for breeding.
You seem more relaxed now.
We currently have 2 pregnant mares, I assume.
All right, I think that should do it.
Okay.
That's
Maybe
got to be the skinniest bath lady we've ever encountered. Ben's Trends is here. Ben says, howdy, folks. It's been a while. Greetings, Ben's. Happy Friday.
I've been in Valentine so long, I just don't see myself anywhere else. Give more! Please!
Papa One continues, we currently have 2 pregnant horses. One is an Arabian, and the other is a beautiful Mustang named Maybelle. Her last foal sold for $15,000. Nice one. It's a crazy, tumultuous week, speaking of thousands of dollars for the market. Mama One says, hey, Benz, and Malamik Art says, couldn't get past The Last of Us clickers. They track me. They freak me the F out, so I stopped playing the game. Maybe you'll inspire me to finish. I hope so, Malamik. I love it. And the clickers, all you have to do is crouch. They can't see you. And make sure you have a lot of knives load, because you have to sneak up on them from behind and just like stab them in the neck. But yeah, they'll swarm you if you shoot them. So it's best to use your bow or to stab them in the neck.
How do you do?
Just sneaky. There's a lot of stealth in that game, which I suppose we'll talk about it more on when we're doing it. But I did kind of try to charge through as Arthur, but you can't. You have to sneak around. You have to use cover and concealment. So there's stealth involved, which we'll get into. But you can't just use maximum overwhelming force like we do with this game. But just we know this game backwards and forwards. And we didn't really know that game. Ben says, made it to Friday. Time to kick back. And sup, Papa One, and hello, Mama One. And Malamik is afraid of the clickers. And Papa One says, oh, I've been well, Ben. Same old horse business. Oh, by the way, Super Antonio, Mama One got another farm dog. Oh, that's nice to know. Tell me all about it. How big are they? What did you name them? How are they settling into the pack? Ben says, I've had about a 3-month hiatus from this game, and it's great to play it again. Made a low honor save. Free Roam Fridays is going to continue indefinitely. And then for the rest of the weekend, we'll play other games. Let's do an old save reload. See where that takes us. I'm trying to get Norbert to appear. We need a Springfield.
Just want to get a drink.
Okay, girl.
Big chonky horse, the Iron Grey Ardennes.
Read about the hunt for the Leviticus Cornwall train robbers.
Well done, girl.
I mean, I like her. But I like her because she's exclusive and she generates a lot of views for the channel. But if it was up to me, if I didn't have a channel, I'd just ride around the gold Palomino Tennessee Walker. It's the prettiest Tennessee Walker. Maybe we'll make a short of it. The prettiest Tennessee Walker in Red Dead Redemption 2. Or it might be a Morgan. I can't remember. It's a minor horse. Benz is riding Biscuit. Arthur's 2,000-pound horse just rolled over on him. And we really want to shoot that guy, but we're not allowed to.
Slow up there.
You done for?
Mom once says we adopted a Pitbull Bloodhound mix. We named him Patton, as we made a note of your suggestion. He's 105 pounds. Wow. Adjusting well. He loves my cooking and his newfound farm. He already got 3 squirrels. Yeah, he's probably having fun. I mean, he's got a lot of friends now. He's got a lot of places to run and roam and explore. New pack to become to figure out the dynamics of. Riff Magos says Arthur dealing with O'Driscolls in the main game, then John dealing with Del Lobos in New Austin in the epilogue. That's almost poetic. Don't tell Abigail. Greetings, Riff. Malamik says, I always end with Rachel, both biscuits and a Turcoman. What color?
Okay. Keep your hair.
And Peter Walsdorf is here and says, hello, Mama One and Papa One. Greetings, Peter.
Will do.
Papa One says, hey,
Just a
Peter.
misunderstanding.
I'm amazed we talked our way out of that.
Very good. You must have done this before. Keep going. All right, girl. Come on, get clear.
Okay, let's move along, like as suggested. Mom once says one of my favorite horses as far as basic breeds in the game is the Flaxen Chestnut Hungarian Half-Bred. Yes, same here. That was one of my favorite first. That was probably my second favorite horse. First being the White Arabian, which was everyone's favorite horse. But yeah, I like the size. That's when I figured out that I like the size of the Hungarian Half-Breds for Arthur.
Sorry, girl.
And Mama once says, "Hey Peter, hope you're well." Malmik says, "Turkman, that is shiny, and everyone's NPC say that she is beautiful." Yeah, it's a fine looking horse. Malamik, I just checked out your channel. Interesting. You're doing quite well on subs. Well done, friend. A watercolorist.
I was telling you about. The one that gave you the medicine when the snake got you.
Guess so.
Listen, friend.
Interesting.
I know I can never repay you, but how about you head over to the gunsmith and pick out your choice of item?
I used to take pride in my thumbnails, Malamik. You know, just with the font, you know, the design, the artistic design. You know, we always had like a nice portrait of Arthur and the horse and the font. You know, we have a Red Dead font, and yeah, and I just tried to balance everything out, but I don't do that anymore. Didn't really help with the channel, regrettably. Well, maybe it did in retrospect, but I don't do that anymore. I just throw up a screenshot. Very lazy.
Ah, Norbert, huh? Well, he's good for it.
Peter says
Between the two of us. Well, take a look around.
something about his
Find something you
girlfriend.
like, I'll put it on
And
the
Ben
stand.
says has Rachel Buell, a Tiger Mustang, and a Missouri Foxtrotter named Wendigo. Riff says, full bonded Andalusian horse you find near Brandywine Drop is very brave, I find. Yes, indeed, it's an Andalusian.
Fine choice. I'll let him know. Bye now.
Papa one says, I'm looking forward to going to Tennessee as it's Amish country. We are going to, and yes, I'm buying fresh pig and possibly fresh goat or sheep. Miko says, hey, Peter. And Cloudy says, howdy, y'all. Greetings, Cloudy. Speaking of movies, Cloudy, I was just telling the chat that last night I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Inglourious Bastards back to back. It's like 4 hours of Quentin Tarantino. I have all his movies on Blu-ray. I really love having my own copy of everything that I can just drop in. No commercials. Already paid for. Malamik says, I noticed your artsy abilities. Well, I'm glad you did, Malamik. That means a lot coming from you, having an art channel. And I just never felt they were appreciated. And I got a little lazy. Papa once says, I love mutton. However, mutton dressed as lamb. Do you know that phrase, Papa one? I laugh because if I didn't laugh, I would cry. Everyone, Google mutton dressed as lamb. It's a British phrase, and it's a little mean, but a little and very witty. Papa one says, I love mutton. However, we have never raised sheep or goats. We had one goat one time, named him El Toro, back in the 70s. That means the bull. You had a goat named the bull. Dad hated him, as he always would attack Dad whenever he saw him. And Papa One says he hated my mom and me as well. He was bipolar or schizophrenic when it came to Mama One. Some days he would love her and eat out of her hand. The other day he would constantly chase after her. You should have named that goat El Diablo. Papa One says near Huntington, Tennessee, Benz. Benz watched The Truman Show for the first time, and he liked it. And Benz lives somewhere in that I can't name on the chat. Don't dox yourself, Benz, please. Malmik says, Benz, that movie makes one think. Yeah, we're living in The Truman Show right now. That's what the world became. Except we're doing it to ourselves. Miko says, hey, Benz, and Miko also says, hey, Cloudy. I have noticed that, well, you know, everybody talks about phone addiction. But I've noticed, especially with dog walkers, you know, on our walks, you know, I never have my phone out. You know, I carry my phone, of course, but, you know, I never have it out. This is my time with Sadie. But I noticed that especially women are like, even without a dog, they're like either looking at their phone or they're talking on their phone as they're walking, almost running into us. And, you know, it gets you thinking, because, you know, it's like, especially when you're walking your dog, you know, walking your dog is not a chore. It's a privilege. It's, you know, it's the highlight of your dog's day is being outside and exploring. And you're always going to have a phone. You're not always going to have a dog. Your time with the dog is finite. And you can't put that screen away for 20 minutes or an hour and just focus on your dog. Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes I'll admit that I will check the market in the mornings, but that's it. You know, on and off, and then back to the dog. And I don't know if she appreciates it. I don't know if she even notices, but I notice.
Yeah.
Cloudy says, I was watching Gladiator. I hope you were entertained. Cloudy. I hope you were entertained. Papa One says, one day, Benz, we'll have to meet up and have a beer or two. And Ben says, I still got a few years for that, Papa One. And Malmik says, yeah, some people forget to look up and see the beauty around us.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot, you know, phone addiction is a big thing. They compare it to cigarette smoking. I think, you know, because everyone has their phone in their hands when they're outside. And, you know, it's like Google Glass. I don't know what happened. Didn't do well. But I think you know, it's got to come back. Because, you know, a hands-free, you know, heads-up display, that's what we want. Or that's what, you know, the general public wants. A heads-up display like we have in this game. So we can constantly keep in touch and connected to the Matrix. And I see a lot of women having conversations on the phone, having conversations, you know. And, you know, I feel kind of okay about that because I feel it's a safety issue, you know, because we live in the city. The city can be dangerous. So you kind of got to witness while you're walking down the street. But also, I think it's because women are more social than men, and you know, they got a lot to talk about. They're great communicators, so they need to talk.
Yeah, it won't take long, girl.
Anyways, that was my thoughts on our daily dog walk. Peter says, how's it going, everyone? It's going quite well, Peter. Just finished The Last of Us. And for the indefinite future, we're just going to be playing The Last of Us on Saturday after we finish the Bad Honor commentary tomorrow. Then we only have 2 more cases for LA Noire. Then we move on to Batman. Malmick says, I don't need to talk. Need is a strong word. And Ben says, I went to Van Horn dressed as the Joker. And it didn't end well. I was thinking as a Val Kilmer tribute of doing a wardrobe tutorial on Doc Holliday, because it's pretty easy. It's a red vest, white shirt, like a gray cravat tie situation, gray silver. Got to figure out the hat. Red 2 says hi. Greetings, Red 2. Cloudy, yes, we are done with The Last of Us. It didn't take long at all. It only took about a week. And that's because I didn't know what I was doing. If you know what you're doing, you could finish that in a day. And well, not a day, maybe a day and a half. Ben says you can make a pretty accurate Arthur Fleck Joker outfit in this game. I can see that with some of the suits. However, it's not 1899 accurate, so I personally wouldn't do it on this channel. But these days, with this game being abandoned by Rockstar, you pretty much just do what you want and make your own DLC. Mr. Morgan.
This stew is decidedly lacking on decent meat, Mr. Morgan.
Just donate it in camp. We'll keep the big game. Arthur does love his pork chops, but we just like minty big game and time big game. Might as well get the stamina one too. I forget which herb does the stamina. Ben says I don't really wear suits in the game.
There she is.
It's scout jackets and worn down jeans. I wear suits on the live streams. Also in life. I started wearing suits on our dog walks, dressing up a little bit, making an effort. Malamik says, I wish they would do some fun things for this game like Death Stranding did. I think, Malamik, they just want you to go online. At this point, this game is just a funnel for Red Dead Online. That's where they want you to spend your hard-earned cash and your valuable time. Scarlet Apostate, wonderful username, says, hello from Baltimore City. Greetings, Baltimore. How are you, friend? Happy Wednesday. Happy Friday. Papa One, I haven't forgotten about Western Wednesdays, and I would have done it this week, but I was busy with The Last of Us. Apostate, to quote Google, is a person who renounces a religious or political belief or principle. Interesting. Especially as I try to keep politics and religion out of this channel. Doesn't I'm not completely successful at it, but I do my best. I'll do my best. Okay, this is Getting the Brindle Part 1. Spoiler alert, it took 2 tries. Cloudy says, Super Antonio, did you like the puns in The Last of Us? LOL. Cloudy, honestly, you know, I was too busy being overwhelmed by clickers to pay attention to the puns. I don't recall any right now. And the bloaters took me a couple tries to figure out what to do with those giant behemoths. But yeah, we're just going to keep playing the game and getting better and better at it on Saturdays. Peter says, Super Antonio, are you getting together with family for Easter? Oh, that's very kind of you to ask, Peter. Thank you. When is Easter? I should know. And the answer is maybe, probably not. You know, I don't. You know, it's just my sister has her own family, and she doesn't really celebrate Easter. She's not very religious. And like Batman, my parents are dead. So you know, I think I'm just gonna celebrate Easter with the dog. She does like eggs. Maybe I'll make her some kind of Easter basket. That would be nice. That would be cute. But yeah, there's no real plans. You know, I have extended family, aunties and uncles, and no one's invited me to any Easter celebration that I know of. So I appreciate you asking. And we will be doing an Easter live stream. I have to laugh or I would cry. It's probably going to be working on Batman, a Batman Sunday. But I appreciate you asking, Peter. Thank you. And I hope you'll spend a little bit of Easter with me. Malnick says it's wise to keep politics and religion out of your show. Smart move. But we've done it since the start. Our people are peasants. We have no time for politics. And it usually works. Papa One says, realistically, they could have just capped Arthur and kept the element of surprise, LOL. Malmix says, eggs for dog, chocolate for you. Yeah, dogs can't have chocolate. Sometimes I miss chocolate. Like brownies. Mama One makes brownies. Brownies and vanilla ice cream. It's got to be one of my favorite. With like chopped peanuts. Oh, I'd like that for Easter. But you know, I don't keep anything in the house that I can't share with her. And I don't want her to like also accidentally, oh, what's this? It's chocolate. Yeah. So like things that I like: chocolate, garlic, onions, onion rings. You know, I will eat, you know, in a restaurant or, you know, outside of the house, but I don't keep it in the house. Can't really jump from horse to horse anymore. And I wonder if they fixed it or if like the Iron Gray is just not nimble enough. I'm suspecting the Iron Gray isn't just nimble enough. Now we lost it and we're gonna have to try again. Let's try that again, shall we? Peter says, I'm having Easter with my girlfriend and her family. I hope you're on your best behavior, Peter. And I hope you dress up. I hope you wear a suit. You don't have to wear a tie. You can just wear an open collar shirt and a nice suit and a nice pair of shoes. Mom one says, I got the Brindle this way, but it was rough. The darn horse ran all the way to 6 Point Cabin. She nearly got canceled, but I got her plus plenty of loot from the O'Driscolls. Malmick says, take care of that nag. Ben says to Papa One, every enemy in this game has the nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition approach. LOL. A Monty Python reference. Well done, Benz. Papa One says, I'm excited for Easter dinner. We are having roasted duck. My wife is preparing 2 of them as we are having the crew and several farmhands over. I love when Mama One cooks duck. Rather, it is roasted or a stew or even broiled. Scarlet Apostate says, I'm glad to be here. I was introduced to Red Dead Redemption 2 in October. Wow. And I'm new to the community. Happy spring to everyone. Wow. That's amazing, Scarlet. What have you been doing in your life? And I envy you. I envy the fact that you have 4 years of catch up to do on this game. It is my favorite game. It is, it is the greatest game in my opinion. I don't think there's ever going to be a game as emotionally involved and as immersive as this game, as this open world. Let's try that again, shall we? So we're this is part 2. We reloaded the save. Someone is very interested in my jar of potent canine bait that I leave on my desk to keep someone incentivized to the live stream. Sadie says like and subscribe. Cloudy says, Super Antonio, what do you think of the blazer with shorts outfit? Cloudy, if you were at the yacht club or on your dad's yacht, I can approve of that. Otherwise, I don't need to see men's legs ever. I don't understand why men insist on dressing like little boys with shorts and baseball caps. I don't care if it's comfortable. There. So it works out a lot easier if you just run up and jump on her. Malmick says it is immersive, and Marika says hello Scarlet. But Cloudy, if you want to do it, I mean, there are no rules anymore to fashion. You can do whatever you want. You can wear a pretty summer dress if you want.
It's all right, girl.
And unfortunately, it's more common to see a man in a dress than a man in a suit. Well, a young man, let's put it that way. What's that about? Yeah, there's no rules anymore. I hate that.
That's a good girl.
Ben says, I'm going to attempt my living off the land challenge. Bow only and trapper clothes in the snow. Going to grow a huge beard. That sounds like a great channel. And Malmick says, Ben says, it's always a fun time. LOL. Okay, we got the Brindle. Yeah, if you chase the horse on a horse, it just panics and won't stop. And I don't think we're able to jump horse to horse anymore. But if you just jump off and chase on foot, she just kind of trails off. Ben says, I like my pair of camo shorts. Well, it's different when you're a young lad. Young lads can dress like young lads. Scarlet Apostate has a hand clap for Papa One and Miko. Mom One says, tonight's meal was my fancy 5 stew. It consisted of 5 different meats, the type of vegetables, potatoes, mushrooms, onions, carrots. The meat I used this time was bison, venison, rabbit. Papa One says, hey Scarlet. Malmick says, thoroughbreds are always spook so easily. If I want to do any kind of hunting, I want a Brindle thoroughbred. It's strictly anecdotal, but especially for you, Scarlett, anyone new to the game, if I want, it's like I really feel that you spawn more 3-star animals of every variety with a Brindle Thoroughbred, with a Thoroughbred in general, but especially a Brindle Thoroughbred. It's strictly anecdotal. It's my personal experience. But if I'm going for the Legends of the East Satchel, I need a Brindle Thoroughbred. Squirrel and raccoon, Mom one says, for your your fancy 5 stew. I like the title, Fancy 5.
Let's try and help each other.
I have an exercise routine that I call 5x5. It's 5 sets of 5. 5 burpees, 5 push-ups, 5 pull-ups, 5 chin-ups, and 5 full-body shrugs. And sometimes 5 crunches if I'm working on my abs. You do 5 sets of that, you will be tired. 5x5. Cattleman Horse Ranch. Interesting username I like. Says, sup, greetings, Cattleman. Mama one says, I make the roux from cow bone or deer antler. I make cornbread as well, and my chocolate cake for dessert. Sounds delicious, Mama one, as always. You make the best meals. And if you're not going to have a YouTube cooking channel, perhaps you should think about writing a cookbook. Scarlett says, that's impressive, Mama one. 5 meat stew. How long do you think it would take Mr. Pearson to prepare? Really, and about Brindle Thoroughbred, so the horse you ride has an impact on the quality animal you kill. I believe so, Scarlett. I honestly do. As someone who is basically a professional Red Dead Redemption 2 game player, for what it's worth. Ha ha ha. And that's about all I have for you tonight, friends. We got the Brindle. Shout out to the channel members. And shout out to the mods, Miko and Mama one and Papa one. Always happy to talk to you. It's great having new people in this chat. Fresh blood. Tomorrow night is the last of Us. No, the last the Bad Honor commentary. We've got a little bit of the epilogue with the wheel. And then Sunday night we have 2 more LA Noirs, and then we start off on our new schedule, Batman and The Last of Us. Appreciate all of you, friends. Great talking to you. Like and subscribe. And if we don't see you tomorrow night, have a great weekend, friends. See you soon.
done